Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to today's edition of Prime Hour, the last for the week. We this day are going to be looking at how to prepare for a decent retirement. We know the conditions under which most of our parents are living after active service, be they from the public or private sector. But today we thought that we should look at what it takes, the steps that should be taken so that by the time we get to retirement, we should live decent, good lives. We are going to be discussing this with regular Friday panelists from Teks Global in Boya. We are in the company of Mr. Buji, Leancine, who is a regular Friday panelist out here with us. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, televiewers. It's another Friday, and we are discussing a very pertinent topic, which is how to plan for a decent or successful retirement. I think this is a challenge of any person who is working, because it is not what happens when you are working, but the most important question is when you leave work, what happens to your life? When your income stops coming, how will you survive? So that is what we'll be looking into. So stay glued to your screens as we dissect this. If you have your parents, you can invite them to join us as we share.
Okay, we are also in the company of Mr. Neba, who is an ambassador of Audacity of Success. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, televiewers. It's always a pleasure for us to be here, and today we are sharing a pertinent topic, as Mr. Buji rightly said. We all are certainly going to age someday, and the question we should be asking, as we are still young and our muscles are still very strong, is what will become of us when our income stops coming? What will become of us when the muscles that we have now can still carry us and go about as we do right now at our young age? So, televiewers, get ready to contribute as always. Let's share and contribute to each other, so that when you get to that age, we should be able to look back and also enjoy and be happy that we once lived.
Okay, Mr. Buji, while we await the arrival into the studios of Miss L and Mr. Teke, somewhere who are caught in traffic, but we are told that they're almost around the office here. When we talk of retirement, what do we mean?
When we talk about retirement, we actually mean the period where you are asked to, when you decide to go home and rest, the time where you're supposed to go home and enjoy life. That is actually how I define retirement for a layman. And in most organizations, retirement, I also have a type of roundaway approach to how I describe retirement as the time when you are no longer really productive and your employee sends you home to go and in the guise of go and enjoy life. But for some people, it's like a period, it's their punishment because they haven't planned for it. Because if you don't plan for your retirement, you will go home at that time and you will face a lot of challenges. But I think retirement is the time where you should go home, you rest, you can enjoy life, you enjoy your great-grandchildren, your children, and family. That's retirement for me.
Yes, that's retirement for you. Should retirement be considered a period where people should rest and enjoy what they have worked all their lives?
Well, for people who are employed, that might be the case. But for people who are business people, they are running their own businesses, they only retire when they go to the graves. And of course, you who is employed too, retirement can just be a period where you are not doing your regular job, but now you dive into other activities that can really keep you busy. Because as a human being, we were designed to work, and there's no really particular time when you stay alive and you stop working. If you stop working, you're going to be going against nature, and you that has always been used to getting up and stepping out in the morning, your body will be trying to adapt to the new you, and in that case, it might really cause some health challenges. So to me, I don't think there's any particular time that you actually rest and relax and enjoy as far as you are a human being. But at least there is that moment where you cannot really walk as you used to walk when you were still young. You were still between the ages of, let me say, 18 to 60, but at least as you must have accumulated some wealth, you must have accumulated some, you've built your children, there should be some time where you can take more vacancies, you can have more fun, you can have more time for yourself. You don't work as you used to do, but still at that particular age you keep working, because obviously young people will need the experience that you have accumulated over the period. If you must have built businesses at that time, you need to be doing more of some kind of direction and director works, where you position those who still have the energy to realize whatsoever they have to realize in your businesses. So retirement to me doesn't really need, it means that you have to rest, but it's a time maybe to move over to other activities that your age at that time permits.
Okay. Should people actually be resting during retirement? Are Cameroonians actually resting when they get to retirement?
One of the reasons why we thought it wise to discuss this topic is because Cameroonians instead have more work when they retire than when they are working, because they realize that the pension is not enough to take care of themselves and their families, because in the normal situation that we find ourselves in, the ratio of those who are actually in active employment and those who are not working is very high. It could be 1 to 5. In a family, barely one person is working, the rest are unemployed. So, and imagine that all these people depend on that person that is working. And when the person retires, you have a contrary situation, that when you retire, instead your income is slashed down, and you cannot actually enjoy life, especially if you did not plan well for that retirement. If you did not save, there's a situation where many people, there's studies that shows that people retire and they die very early because they are not able to stay with the standard of life they have been living. And the key thing, that the key cause of this is because they haven't planned for their retirement. They did not save anything. They kept nothing. They just retired like that. And that's why many people are really scared of retirement. When their retirement years are coming, it's like something terrible is about to happen. And sometimes people start planning for their retirement when they are already closer to it. 1 or 2 years, that's when somebody is planning for it. It cannot work like that. So in that case, if you retire at that stage when you have not prepared for your retirement, you cannot enjoy life. You will stress, you will feel pain. That's a period of pain for you. But if you are really thinking about your future, if you're really concerned about your well-being when you are no longer active as you used to be, when you're no longer productive as you used to be, then you need to do something in your early days that will help you when you are weak.
Why is retirement so frightening for many Cameroonians and Africans?
Well,
a time that many persons should be looking forward to enjoying life after stressful, active life. Almost everybody would not want to get to that stage. People going to Yaoundé to extend their stay in the public service so that they can work till they die.
But the truth is that it's not only retirement that scares people. People fear a lot of things in life. People fear to get old. People fear to die. People fear to lose their loved ones. But in this case, people fear retirement so much just because they don't understand that it is an obvious end. You know, there are certain things in life that when you try to fight them, in fact, you can't fight them, because it's obvious that you are going to grow old, your energy is going to drop, and your productivity is going to drop, and of course, you will not be able to deliver the results that you could deliver in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s. And what will happen? You will have to obviously retire. So instead of you thinking of or being afraid of going on retirement, what you should be thinking of how you can get to that retirement without actually facing the difficulties that might necessarily befall you if you don't prepare, because it is obvious that the retirement must come. It's not a matter of choice. It is obvious. So those who are trying to fight retirement, or those who are afraid of retirement, I mean, they are just fighting a loose battle, because retirement will certainly come.
Okay, retirement will certainly come. Mr. Teke has just joined the house. Mr. Teke, should I not also be looking forward to a period where I should enjoy life, having worked all my life, as retiring to enjoy, but paradoxically, we are so scared to rest. Why? Is it the fact that we did not prepare for that time?
Everybody is scared of the unforeseen. So retirement becomes scary. People become afraid of retirement because majorly we're not trained on how to prepare for retirement. So the major fear for the retirement thing, anytime the name is mentioned, is the very fact that you're not ready for it. So people work all through their active years, but they don't prepare for the resting period. And that's a very difficult problem. It's a very big problem for the average African and the average Cameroonian.
But you say we work throughout and we do not prepare for the resting period. That is supposed to be considered a resting period.
Yes.
Do Cameroonians really rest during that period?
As a matter of fact, they don't, but we're supposed to. So I'm trying to say how we cannot, let's not separate Cameroonians from the other part of the world.
The world, yes.
By right, your retirement period is supposed to be a period where you have to rest. You have worked, now you should relax while you just live life. So, truth be told, like 95% of Cameroonians don't rest after retirement, because even when they are not working, you see them at the end of every month queuing at a bank, trying to get 7,500 or 12,500 or 25,000 or 30,000 as the case may be. And you could see old men and women who sit at the bank for more than 24 hours. Like 6 a.m. they're already there waiting, and they can go like that for 1 week, just ensuring that that little money is paid to them, because their entire old age life depends on it. And that's painful. Sometimes their death even comes just as a result of waiting. You wait until your energy disappears from you because of that. So the suffering during unprepared retirement is very painful. It's more painful than the work you normally do when you're active.
How do we, you say 95% of Cameroonians or Africans are taken unawares, they don't prepare for, what would account for that? How do we know that there's going to be a period where our salaries are going to be slashed, that we will not have opportunities that we have today, and seemingly many persons are not prepared?
Yes, Mr. Leo, indeed, like you said, so many people are not prepared. But the truth is that everybody is supposed to be able to know when they'll be going on retirement, even when they are still working.
Okay.
You should be able to have the time horizon, like be able to estimate that, okay, at this time, I'll be off the workforce. I will now maybe sit to be able to benefit from what I have been working for. But it's not unfortunate that many people don't look forward to retirement. And I think the reason is because they actually do not prepare so much for retirement when they are still working. So there is no particular time for retirement. It's not like we tell you you have to retire at the age of 40 or at the age of 50 or at any particular time. But you as a person, you as an individual who is working, should be able to tell yourself that I'm going for retirement now. You're not going for retirement because you're not going for retirement because you want to start working again, but you're going for retirement because you're tired of working. That's how retirement comes. And a lot of people get into retirement, they cannot account for nothing, because during the time where they were supposed to be working, they were doing nothing, and they expect to start working more during their retirement age. And that's why so many people don't enjoy their retirement age at all. They instead suffer more than when they were working.
Okay. Findi, glad to know that you are watching us from Bomonoba, Mbenge, not far from Douala. I hope you are enjoying yourself. Invite me to join you also at times. Now, at what time should we start thinking of retirement, Mr. Buji?
At what time should we start thinking of retirement? At the time we start working, we should start thinking of retirement.
Okay.
Because when you look at the age you are getting into active service, you will know exactly when you'll be retiring. Because if you start at 20, you have 40 years to work. If you're a civil servant like in Kamondo's retiring at 50, if you're retiring at 55, you have 35 years to work. And if you're starting at 30 and you're retiring at 55, you have 30. You just have 15 years you have 25 years to work. So within that time, you should be able to know this is the year you're going to be going on retirement on. And you cannot prepare for this retirement when you are 5 years to go on retirement. You need to start preparing immediately. Calculate the number of years you are going to work, then see what you can save within that period, what you can do to make sure that when you retire, your income doesn't drop. Because the sad thing is about you going on retirement to go and enjoy the time you have to go on vacation, the time you have to take care of your family, the time you have to enjoy life. That's the time you are thinking about, what do I do? So at that stage, you now start thinking that money that you are receiving, what is it? Salary, as we call it, that is a seed. So you need to do something with it so that it can multiply and take care of you at your old age. In that light, you will have to be looking at other lucrative things that you are going to do, because salary is not enough for you to depend on till you retire.
It's not okay. But when we talk of retirement, Mr. Neba, are we only talking of civil servants? Because in Cameroon, when they talk of civil servants, people think that only civil servants should be thinking of retiring.
No, you can't only refer to civil servants. As Ms. Earl Riley said, every individual can retire at every age. I mean, even civil servants do retire upon anticipation. Yes, so every individual, when you grow up and you engage in a worthwhile activity, you should be thinking that maybe sometime you should be able to also sit back, reduce your rate of activities, and see life from another perspective and enjoy. So it's not all about civil servants. Every individual, even if you don't plan for it, that age will come when, even if you are running your own business, if you are working in the private sector, that time will come when your bones will not be able to carry you along again. You get to, your energy will drop, and you have to reduce maybe your level of activities and go to other activities that your age can support. So it's not only civil servants that should be thinking about retirement.
Okay, if I get you very well, Mr. Neba, he is saying that if you are a mama watching us selling red oil in Muya market, if you are a pa who is into agriculture, say in Fumbot, if you are somebody watching us from Magba, whatever activity you are engaged in, know that there is going to be time that you need rest, because you won't have the energy to carry you. So if you are selling books, you are selling food in a market, you have to start planning for the days when your energy will no longer be able to carry you. But seemingly, very many persons are never prepared for retirement. Is it the fact that we have not had opportunities like this in the past to start educating people to know that there is a time where they will need to reap from what they have been investing during their years of active service? At the level of Teks Global, are you organizing seminars across Cameroon in the rural setting to let people know that you don't only prepare for heaven, because that's the only thing we are prepared for. We should prepare for life after active service.
So this is very important. I think the first thing is, like you said earlier, people are not aware. When you talk about retirement, we only look at people who are working, especially the civil servants, especially those that even work for the government. Most times, people that even work for private sector don't even understand what retirement looks like. So when you even talk to them about things like pension and all of that, they don't get to really understand how those things work. But I want us to bring it to a very minimal level that everyone can understand. Even God himself prepared for retirement. So retirement is beyond a state where you get old. That you don't just get retired because you are old.
Yeah.
Now, you only get retired when you've been able to build and establish. A retired man is someone who has been able to build things, delegate authorities, delegate activities, then sit back and watch what he has built working for him. That's when someone, okay, I want to retire, I've already done this, I've done that, I've done that. So I can now sit back, watch what I have done. These children I've given birth to, these people I have groomed. See how they can actually be doing this while I rest. That's why someone can retire at the age of 30. You can retire at the age of 40. You can retire at the age of 50. Depending on how you were able to start working on time. So when God created, God retired after 6 days of active work. See, he did everything assign authority, this, and then you look at the animal, okay, I need someone to actually do this job for me. God created Adam and then gave Adam specific instruction. Adam, do this, do this, do this. And the Bible says that at the cool of the evening, God will always come back and ask Adam, okay, how did you do this? How did you do this? And that was when you discover that he was no longer working. God was no longer saying that, hey, animal, lion, do this, or tiger, do this. Why? He had already prepared the pace and then gave Adam the go-ahead to continue. If you want to retire, why do we find it difficult for people to retire? Because in their youth or active age, they've not been able to delegate activities for people. They're not able to build a platform where people can work in their stead. So they just do it only them until they get to a level where they discover they can no longer do it again. But now there's nobody who can do it in their place. That's why I said people at old age, they start working, they still keep working. So what are we supposed to do? At the level of Teks, we do our best to ensure we train people, we educate them, even provide savings platform for them, investment platform for them to prepare for the financial area of their retirement. Now, I think the whole nation of Cameroon should take this as a responsibility. We should be able to organize platforms and forums where we train people on what retirement really is, what they need to look at, what they need to keep, what they need to save to prepare for their retirement. What you pay at CMPS is not enough to take care of you at the level of your retirement. When you are working, you are supposed to be making a particular savings for yourself. Outside the money CMPS is forcing you to save for you, you are supposed to pay, have a particular savings where you discipline yourself. This amount of money is my retirement benefit by yourself. You can try to put it in an investment or just try to save it in the bank. So at the end of the day, when you get to a level where it's okay, hey, I'm no longer working, I've done what I can do, you can now fall back to that. So that if you go to the bank and CMPS could not pay your retirement benefit, you still have an extra savings. But we're not prepared for this. Most Cameroonians don't know how this runs. And that's why we come in as a company and as an organization and say, okay, after whatever we do, we have to teach our parents. We have a platform we call Retirement Benefit, where people actually come, they make investments for themselves, prepare the money.
Teks Global?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a retirement plan where you can actually put a set amount of money there and say, okay, this is going to be for my retirement benefit. And the company trade with that money, we do business and ensure that they pay you at the end of every month 8% of whatever amount of money you invest at the end of every month, so that we don't get, because why we brought in the retirement plan is I have a lot of friends and investors who always complain, especially those that are abroad. My mom will not allow me to rest, my dad will not allow me to rest, every day send me money, every day do this, every day do that. I was like, we have to help people. So we develop a retirement plan where someone can have an investment and leverage from that investment through Teks Global platform for the rest of your life. And it has an inheritance bonus. It means when you're no more, that retirement plan can be shifted or transferred to your next of kin. Now, these are the things that our Cameroonians need to understand. Because if you know this and you are prepared for it, when you are, let's say 30 years old or 40 years old, and this is when you want to start preparing for your retirement, you make an investment as small as 1.5 million, it will carry you all through your life, except in extreme cases where you need to be health issues that require a lot of money. But on a normal basis, I think the average Cameroonian needs to learn about retirement. Like I said, it's not when you've gotten to old age. Retirement doesn't mean you have to get old where you can no longer work. It means you preparing yourself to a period where you have to decide not to be actively involved in doing whatever you're doing.
Alex says, good evening, Mr. Leo. This is a very good topic. Many of our parents are suffering at their retirement age. Many didn't prepare for retirement. Thanks to Mr. Teke, who have come up to help us with the Teks Global Retirement Plan. We need to sensitize people on this topic of retirement. I think Mr. Teke and the group should organize a seminar on that. Yes, that is what I just said. Should organize a seminar on that and target older people who are about to go on retirement. It is very heartbreaking to see a civil servant providing unskilled labor at construction site after retirement. Alex is writing from Boya, but someone has a question for you. Good evening, Mr. Leo, members of the panel. Can you ask Mr. Teke how can a non-civil servant prepare for his or her retirement age? And retirement age goes only to civil servants. Jean is writing from Yaoundé.
Oh, okay, like we said before, it's not just for civil servants. So how can a non-civil servant prepare for that? This guy is earning income. So like I said before, reserve a particular percentage of your income as your retirement benefit. You might not belong to a CMPS or any other pension scheme. You save that money in the bank or get into an investment. Say this particular business is going to run my retirement age. Do the money, do whatever you're doing. Don't consume it. You have to learn to discipline yourself. Don't consume it. If you're hearing us for the first time now, you can now find out where Teks is, and we can talk to you about how to get into the retirement plan. So as a non-civil servant, just decide, okay, 30% of my income, if you're a business person, 10% of my profit will go for my retirement plan. I'll create a separate account where I save that money every month, and I'm going to do this for 10 years or 20 years. Now, after 20 years, I retire from my business. Why? My business is running by someone else. This is what I should be leveraging on. So you don't get to a level where at a retirement age, you are still falling back to your business every day to be collecting your capital to eat because there's nothing to hold back onto.
Okay, Miss L, we are talking about savings. That's what it says, that we should save at least a quota of what we make a monthly. What does it take to save? It's not easy, eh?
Yes, there's a principle that I learned one time from Mr. Teke. He spoke about saving at least 4% of your salary every month, no matter how small it is. So there are many ways to save, not just saving in the bank, not just doing investments, but even the daily savings that we do, this daily njangi that people do. Akao, yes. It has a lot to play. But now some people are still not very vigilant. They still don't see the importance in saving. It might be difficult, but it takes a lot of determination and focus. Because if you're able to sit and look at how you want your retirement age to look like, what are your goals for your retirement age, it has a way it's going to propel you. It has a way it's going to push you to know how to estimate, what you need. If at your retirement age you expect to be traveling around, having vacations, of course it has a way you start talking to you as early as now, and you start saving up for it. But now the issue is that some people still expect to be paid during their retirement age. Like they expect that, okay, I've been working, they were paying me, I'm receiving salary. Like how we talk about pension, they still expect to be paid during retirement age. But during that retirement age, it's a time where you pay yourself. Meaning all those things you've been saving, all those monies, the investments you've been making, that is when you start eating from what you have saved, what you have invested. But a lot of us don't save for, we don't save for our retirement age. Like what Mr. Buji said, you start preparing for your retirement at the time you start working. But most of us don't see that way. Trust me, we grew up knowing that retirement means you're of age and it's time for you to leave. And so people just wait for the time. If you're a civil servant, they just wait for the time where they tell them, okay, it's time for you it's time for you to leave. That's when they leave.
It's time for you to start suffering.
Yes, that's what they know. Some people live a beggarly life. Like they go to a level where it was better to just stay at work. And that this aspect of not planning for retirement is the main reason why most leaders don't leave their positions, even in normal, simple organizations.
Yeah, you have fathers who are very old.
Yes.
They will go and reduce their ages. It's true now.
Yes, most of them don't want to leave because they are afraid of retirement. If you are somebody who have successfully built a system that is running, when I talk about a system, I'm talking about something that it's running and sustaining itself. If you have successfully built a system, even at the age of 30, you can go in retirement because you have a system that is running and operating for itself. But most people at the age of 50, they realize that they have nothing to look forward to during their retirement, and you see them start staying on one position. They don't want to move, they don't want to leave anything, and all they don't want to leave their positions, they don't want to do nothing around them again. They just want to stay there and keep eating, and they feel that they're going to stay there all their life. But whether you like it or not, everybody gets to the point.
Okay,
where they retire.
Somebody's raising this issue. What about businessmen? How should he or she prepare for their retirement age? Dennis writing from Boya.
Yeah, I will talk about that. Before I get to that question, I want to make this clear to our parents. Those are preparing to get retired. I want us to understand as parents that our children are not our retirement plan. Our children abroad, our families abroad, they are not our retirement plan, because this has frustrated a lot of young people who are growing, who are supposed to build their family. The average Cameroonian thinks that if I am working and sending my children to school and send them to school so that they can come and take care of me when I'm old. And when you get old, your entire burden comes upon those children. So while you were working, all you did was send them to school, and the rest of your income, you wasted it. you lavished everything, and then now that you are old, you have to start looking at it. I send you to school, I paid your school fees and this and that, so you have to take care of me, and it has frustrated a lot of youths. It's a parent's responsibility to take care of his children. It is by law that these children should take care of their parents. But whereby a parent thinks that it is a child's responsibility to take care of their needs because they are old, I think is not too correct.
Yeah, it also it is at variance with what the Bible says now. The Bible says we should live
a righteous man who amass wealth for his children's children. So if you are growing and that you cannot keep wealth for your children, you're expecting your children to start giving you, there's a mix up there as far as the biblical concept is concerned. So why I'm saying this is so that our parents will know that while you're sending your kids to school, prepare for your retirement plan.
But isn't it at least better to, some people think that preparing for retirement could be to invest in the children rather than also wasting it and not sending their children to school also. There are some people who not even send their children to school.
And they'll still waste it, they'll not prepare for retirement. Yes. So that one is even the worst.
Yes. So let's just put it this way. When you're educating a child, that is an investment. That's agreed. You're investing into that child's future. Now, what if you're not preparing for your retirement and then the child doesn't have a job? So what happens? Maybe at that time the child will need your own help, and because you did not even prepare, you cannot rescue yourself, you cannot rescue your child. So it's very important that you think about the fact that it is the right, in fact, if you look at every organization, the AU, even governments, is the right, the child has a right to education.
Yes.
So that is the right of a child. It's not something that you are doing it as a favor to the child. That's the right of the child.
Not something you are doing that so they can pay you back when you are old.
No. It's not like that. It means you don't even love the child.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm seeing the topic as how to prepare for a decent retirement. How do we really mean by decent retirement? Charlotte is writing from Mutenge. Yes. Yes. Everybody is on retirement.
Yeah.
But what we are saying is a retirement that you are not going to suffer.
So
you're not becoming a nuisance to people and all of that.
Most of them are on retirement. You know how they are on retirement. Many teachers, many gendarmes, police officers, they are not on retirement. But how decent is their life?
That's true.
You see them in chantiers.
Yes.
Imagine you go somewhere, you see a father who should be at home very early in the morning. They're already in chantiers. Or you see them driving. One power almost hit me on the road.
I know of one in Boya. He was a military man. I think one big rank in military. Now he's retired, but you know what he's doing? He's taking care of one of my friend's pig fence. That's what he's doing. He goes there, feed the pigs, and at the end of the day, they pay him some money at the end of the month. Is it 15 or 20,000?
Charlotte, I hope you get it. That the person Mr. Teke just talked about is on retirement, but that retirement is not decent.
It's not decent.
Yeah.
It's not productive. It is rather.
It was not prepared for.
He's not resting. It's rather suffering. But how about business? If you are running a business,
how do you retire? I think Mr. Teke has spoken about that. We should be able to build systems.
Okay,
that's very possible. You know,
you start preparing.
Yeah, get a team in place. I mean, let's look at Mr. Teke said here. He's not in Bamenda, but Teks Global is running in Bamenda. That's a system. It's running in Douala, in Kumba, in Yaoundé. He is not there. That's what it is meant when he said you should build a system. I mean, we have the mentality that if something should be running under us, we should be there. We should be the ones to do everything. I mean, all the credit should come to us. That's a layman way or an archaic way of doing business. For you to do a business and succeed and obviously be able to retire early or retire and relax, build system, get people, build teams that can run the business without you actually being present.
As a businessman, it's very simple.
You can decide, even while you are still actively doing your business yourself, you can decide, okay, 1% of every profit that comes into the company goes to a particular account for my retirement. You can decide to do that. Or when you think that, okay, when you'll be able to build posterity and decide to rest from your business, you can say, okay, talk to the management, 1% or 2% of everything that comes into the business goes as my retirement. It's simple. You decide what percentage goes for your retirement and at what time you want to prepare for that. And you can try to retire at 30 and you make all of that money. You just sit at home and do whatever you want to do and the system comes to you. But if you're not able to build the system, even the whole problem is we don't know what it means to build systems. And so when you have the energy to work, you just want to do everything by yourself and only realize at 50 that you are getting way out, you're getting old, you're getting tired, you can no longer work again. So preparing for retirement, decent retirement, require you to start working now. Start putting energy in building people who will be able to build your business for you while you are old, not being able to work again.
Okay. Should a youth, say young guys,
prepare retirement,
should they start thinking of retirement?
Yes. A child should start thinking. As a child, you should start thinking of your retirement.
If I react to that, definitely the retirement plan was provoked by the thought of old persons.
Yes.
But we realize that it's not only old persons who should prepare for retirement. As a young person, you need to decide the age you want to retire in. If you want to retire at 20, it's possible.
Work so hard.
Work so hard. If you want to retire at 30, it's possible.
Yeah.
By retirement means, retirement could simply mean reducing the rate of your activities.
Yeah.
And because there is, for business persons or for entrepreneurs, there is what you call leverage. For you to leverage means that you can leverage in any way. Your money can be working for you, people can be working for you, your resources can be, you can multiply your time. So which means you can do a lot of things. Mr. Teke made a statement somewhere that money can buy you years ahead of time, which is true. You look at
the Stephen Mwambo watching us from Boya, my friend. Stephen, I'm going to be in Boya tomorrow. I hope I'll see you. And now, he has sent something very, very important. I would like you to react to it.
Okay.
And you, Miss L. He says, good evening, Mr. Kum and panelists. It is important to prepare for retirement, but many reasons account for why many are always not prepared. Firstly, for many who work, their family and friends mostly become parasites. They will always need to contribute and bail out family members and friends who refuse to work. Secondly, most workers tend to engage in very societal trends which contribute to reckless spending. Yes, some of us are in 10 jangis or meetings. Every day we are contributing here. These trends include the following attitudes: borrowing money to organize glamorous marriages. You spend 15 million for a wedding, instead
and you use your salary to pay back.
Instead of planning for retirement, you are paying back. Borrowing money to buy a car. By so doing, they begin a lifestyle of living in debts and eventually paying those debts till they are aging. The attitude of drinking with friends anyhow and womanizing. Thirdly, many institutions like the social insurance have not been credible. Many have lost faith in these institutions and do very little to prepare for retirement because of the frustrations their seniors have encountered. No, but they should prepare themselves for their retirement. Now, can you react to some of the points he raised?
Yes. All of those points are very valid, but they are not a justification why you should not prepare, because it's a matter of discipline. You decide if you want to give to your family members, or you want to give to your relatives, or you want to join any of those njange. Nobody forces you. You can decide how you want to live your life. So if you really want to enjoy your future, so what you should be looking at is, how important is my retirement age to where I am right now, or to the njange I want to join, or to the friends I want to help? Because if you get old today or tomorrow, those friends will not be there for you, whether you like it or not. None of them will come and say, hey, while we're young, you did this for me, or you gave me money, or you bought me a drink.
So come and be eating
in my house. It doesn't work. You carry your cross alone. So you look at your life and your future, look at your destiny, and figure out, how important is this to me? Should I save for it? If yes, then you have to put a hold to any other pleasure, any other enjoyment, and build your future, because it's very important for you. If you cannot work towards success will not lower a standard to meet you. So becoming successful in whatever you do, having a decent retirement is discipline. It's a decision you have to take yourself. Nobody's going to pet you about it. So we're not telling you, hey, please, prepare for your retirement. No. What we're telling you is that this is something that is necessary for your future. If you want to live a kind of old age that your grandchildren will be happy going to visit grandpa, you have to pay for it now, because there are grandparents that their grandchildren or even their children are not comfortable visiting them. Because the moment you reach there, all of their problems in this world will be tabled before you. Some children don't even call their parents. When they see their parents call, they are scared because they're expecting, do this for us. I don't have salt, I don't have this, I don't have that. But we should be able to build a life where your children should come around you and they feel that, okay, we are going around grandpa. If they are giving you, they are giving because I have one of the parents I met once. I think I should call his name, permission please. His name is Pa Kang Sume. I was talking with him and he told me, he said, I don't like disturbing my children. That's why I prepare for everything I do. If they are giving me anything, they should give me because it's coming from their heart, not because I'm putting a burden on them. And it taught me a bigger lesson. He said, my last birthday, they bought me a car. I didn't ask for it, they just do that. We should get to that level, prepare for it. It requires discipline for today and requires a lot of sacrifice for your today's pleasure. So simple, what is decent retirement plan? Sacrificing your today's pleasure for tomorrow's treasure. Very important.
Okay. Ms. L, we are chopping our tomorrow today. Is that what most of us are doing?
A lot of persons are doing that. You know, when you're pointing out those things of heavy marriages, that's the highest that we find in today's setting. We keep getting so many colorful weddings
instead of keeping it for when you need it most. Yes.
So people get married and divorce with borrowed money.
Okay, a few days ago, I like to bring this. A few days ago, I was studying, and then this word came to me. If you are called to go and pour water in a field in another person, be wise. Don't just pour your water because you don't know where that person carried from. That person must have carried from a stream and you carried from a bucket before they were coming to pour in the same field with the same bottle that you are holding. That's what's happening with us today. You want to spend like somebody when you don't know the person's source or how much that person has left behind before they are coming to spend. You see people throwing money around and you start throwing money. It is very well. There's a way this money does. It turns around and hooks you back on your neck.
The statement is you don't have to eat your seed with those who are eating
the harvest. So it's okay to leave. I get it. One time we were talking here and somebody said, so you said that we should not eat our money, we should not spend life. See, it's good. Me in particular, I love good life. But the truth is that it's good to want to sit to eat. You eat with peace. Not just that you're eating today, then you get up tomorrow and you get hungry. Like you eat 5,000 today and tomorrow you're hungry. Everything we're talking here about retirement, it's good that everybody should take proper note of it. But still, it's about what you have prepared for yourself. That is going to be your push factor. If you're sitting with your friends, you're attending meetings and on the like, see, everything circles around productivity. Any activity that is not productive, just run away from it. Even friends that are not productive, you should run away from them. There was one time we sat and then Mr. Teke was talking, he said something, and somebody asked a question about association, and he said, he used an example of the coronavirus that this season that we're in. He says that now that you have this, we're talking about coronavirus, what happens when you meet people? There's social distancing, right? Wherever is not productive around you, please just practice social distancing. Separate from them, because these same people you're feeding, your family, trust me, Africans, worst case are Africans. They will join you to eat your money, but the day that you fall, see, they will join and mock you and even follow the next person who just made money in the same family. And all this pity party that we do, we're getting so emotional people cannot rule the world. If you're emotional, you will not make money. There is time when you have to save, and you have to make these people understand that it's time for you to save. When you save, when it's time for you to start spending on them, they'll forget the days you did not give them. It's very simple. If I was asking you money today and you were not giving me, the day I bring a car and park in front of your house, you'll forget those days that you asked me for 5,000 and I refused to give you. These are simple things that we forget to hold or to keep. So all these things I've mentioned like that, of course it happens around us, but it's a matter of choice. What are the goals you've set for your retirement age? Do you want to be that person, that grandma who sits in the house and is making phone calls and asking people to come help them? Of course not. Be that person that when you're trying to come in. Now, going back to what we spoke about education, the only thing that children owe their parents is love and care. That's all. When you invest in humans, it's not for financial benefits. It's for them to show you love and care. But when it concerns finances, you are the author and the finisher of your own fate when it concerns finances in your retirement age. So how much money you spend, how many vacations you will go on, it's you. It depends on you. It's nobody that's going to plan that for you.
Okay.
So ignore all of these things and just focus on the future.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Retirement needs a good preparation. Linda is writing from Boya. Retirement is a good thing because you have children to take care of you at times. Okay. Yes, exactly what we just said here. Good evening to all of you in the studio. I'm Ivo in Lime. I want to ask if I invested 300,000 francs in Teks Global, what will be my profit at the end of the month? Can you just call the number under your screen? You are going to have an answer. Good evening, Mr. Liu. How can students prepare for retirement? Hope is writing from Loom. Thank God you're already thinking about it, so it's good. Good evening to all of you in the studio. I love this program. It's very educative. Lukong Eric is writing from Ndop. Good evening to you, Mr. Lukong. This one says, some parents really struggle to take care of their children. Saving becomes very difficult, let alone investment. I believe children should also have some responsibility towards their old and needy parents. Many young people today are running away from this. Gladys is writing from Bamenda. Retirement in Cameroon is a matter of the lower class. The upper only prepare for expire. Peter is writing from Bamenda. Hello, Mr. Liu and panelists. Thank you for your educative programs, especially on retirement. The National Social Insurance Fund now operates a voluntary retirement scheme for the unemployed. Yes, the Lawrence Mezam Trade Union President. Mr. Andy, good evening to you. Good evening, our home of education. This is Mala Thomas from Bafmeng. Please, I wish to ask, how should a priest or how do priests prepare for their retirement? Because it's always said that priests are not on payment plan. Thanks, I do enjoy the program. Somebody just wrote that he would have loved to have a retired person share his or her experience on this platform. We are going to prepare a part 2 of this program. I'm sure we are going to invite some of them to share how they live. The Bible says, do not worry about tomorrow. Good evening. Yes, you're a man of faith. So, this one, I would like to factor in the situation that salaries of our civil servants are pitifully small and cannot be enough to sustain the worker, take care of his family, educate his children, and still have anything substantial to put aside in preparation for his retirement. 4 or 10% savings of your monthly salary is really nothing on which to build your retirement. Jacob Nyambe is writing from Dedo in Douala. Now, this is very important. Many persons work for 50, 60, 70,000 and maybe are living like Mambo said from Boya. Most everybody's choking them, wanting to differ from the little they make. Is this not reason enough for persons to start thinking about getting into investments and other activities? Because depending solely on your teaching or this, you may never have enough to save and prepare for retirement.
That's absolutely true. And if anybody has been following us on this program, we've talked too much about side hustles, doing something extra, additional source of income. You need to think, the moment you realize that your salary is not enough, you have to start thinking about other sources of income. If you realize that your business cannot pay you enough, then you have to mash up, look at other things to do. If you are a teacher, for instance, you can take more schools that will permit you to take more schools. Let's just say you have another school, dedicate it that this one is going to be for your savings. You're going to plan something over it. And to clarify a point, Mr. Teke said it was an advice. He did not say parents should not take care of their children should not take care of their parents. It is parents should not risk their lives. Their children must take care of them, because some children can disappoint you as well as they might not even find a job, which means that you are even say better than them. So that is the point.
They'll still be depending.
Yeah. So nobody, because I remembered the other day one student called me and was telling me how because we advise that the child should do what they want, they just get it wrong, that the parents are imposing this, but the parents are still the first counselors of the child. So we don't ask people to do, you just need to follow us, and if you actually doubt in something, you can always call for clarification.
Okay.
So let's make this for those that say their salary is small and all of that. Like I always say, you can't have a bulk of money if you don't know how to gather them in grains. Let's say you are earning 75,000 francs. That's small salary. It's difficult to manage that kind of money. But like I said before, saving is discipline. Becoming financially free is discipline. Assuming you decide to save 10% of 75,000 every month from when you start working, and you have to work for 60 years, for example, or let's say you have to 60, let's try 60 years. Now, that means you have 7,500 every month to be saved. Multiply that by 12 months, that will give you, let's do this together. Multiply that by 12 months, that will give you 90,000. So every year, a salary earner that earns 75,000, saving 10% for their retirement, will have 90,000 every year. Now, assuming you're not investing this money, just save it. If you do that times 60 years, that will give you about 5.4 million. It's a lot of money you can use, put part in a business, and use part to take care of yourself. But if you are smart, if you are business inclined, you save this money for 1, 2, 3, 4, 30 years, you can use 2.2 million or 2.7 million, put it in an investment while it's running for you and you're still working. And before you know it, by the time you retire, you must have at least 10 million waiting for you somewhere that you can use to be managing your life while you're looking at CMPs and look at which other child will come and rescue you. But if you zero your mind that the salary is never enough for you to save, even if you earn 20 million, if the mindset is that the money is never enough, you will not be able to save.
Okay.
Savings begins from the little. If you're earning 1,000, decide, that's why I call it in percentage. Decide that I'm going to save 10% of whatever I earn. If it's 1,000, I'll save 100. At the end of the day, what you want to achieve is not how much you have gathered, is the ability to be able to save.
Mr. Teke, I want us to be clear on something. When we talk of retirement, can we describe how retirement looks like?
Yes, we can. How does it look like at your retirement age? That means you don't get to a level where you can, let's say if you are working, you're actively working. When you go to work, there are small benefits that comes in. When you're no longer working, those benefits don't come. Your salary doesn't come. If you're earning 75,000, you no longer have 75,000. You have a certain percentage of that 75,000. Now, you are cut off from the working environment where you can have opportunities, you can loan money from the banks and all of that. All those opportunities are not there. You become alone, you, at your own close. You have to take care of yourself at that moment. It's a lot of risk if you don't prepare for it while you are working. So retirement age is a vulnerable level or a vulnerable stage of your life.
I want because many persons, especially those of us who are young, we seemingly do not take time off to do a study on how people live
when they're retired.
Yes. I think that when we are young, we should start thinking of the type of house
to live in
at that age,
because you become very vulnerable.
Yes.
It's easier for you to catch sicknesses and a lot of things.
The type of house that you want to live in, you start looking at those that are going to be around you.
Yeah,
you are going to be weak,
sure,
and you would need people to assist you, and the children will not be there.
So can you afford to pay house help?
Oh, yes. I think those are some of the things that people need to start looking. Yeah.
And if they consider all of these things we've mentioned, it will force them to discipline themselves to prepare for their retirement. Like you said, it's because they don't think about it. If you're thinking that when I get old, I need someone to hold my hand, someone to assist me, someone to cook for me, someone to wash for me, and assuming my children are not there, who does this for me? Nobody can come and do it for free. It means I have to pay people to do these services for me. It will force them to prepare.
Is there not an error many persons make in preparation for their retirement? That is, you have so much money, and what you do is you build a house worth 80 million francs, a very large house, thinking that at retirement you will enjoy. But at that time, when you are constructing this house, you are living with a large family, and by the time you go on retirement, you discover that you are alone, and you may have wasted so much money on
the same thing we talked about, sacrificing today's pleasure for tomorrow's treasure. Because if you are doing any construction, if there's anything you are doing for your youthful age, you must consider the future. Consider your retirement. How will it look like? If this house is 10-bedroom apartment, if I'm alone in this house as an old person, how do I manage all of this?
How do you walk from one
place to another and look at all of these things? We have to consider it. If not, it's going to affect you. And that's why most people die earlier as soon as they retire, because the whole burden becomes so much on you. The weight is now heavier than the weight you had when you were working. Nobody around, because people no longer find pleasure to come around you. You are old. They can't discuss anything with you, and you're there just alone. And that's why you see parents start complaining, start cursing their children. They're no longer thinking of them, all of that. But they did not prepare for it while they were young, and our parents need to understand that.
Okay, Mr. Neba, you react to what Anita just wrote from the United States. She says that, good evening, everyone. A good retirement should start with family planning. Retirement should start at birth to be extreme. Children should be told of retirement that they hear it the second time at age 18. Working or not working is not an excuse for not saving for your retirement. That is, it should also, you start preparing for retirement with family planning.
Yes. You know, this thing is supposed to be a way of life. It's something that you should have a picture of it and start working towards it. Like some time ago when I started getting enlightenment, I had to write down my future house. And I had to write down the future, the way I want to spend my time with my children. I looked at vacations. Those are things that we grew up not knowing. We don't go for vacations. Vacations to us is when we close during term holidays. We go to the village. We go and visit from Bamenda. We go visit somebody in Kumba, and you think that that's a vacation. No, we don't understand going on vacations. You know, go relaxing in touristic sites. That's something that is not of our culture. That's something that we of this generation are looking at. We should enjoy life both when we are working and enjoy it during those vacations when we are still young, because people think that vacation is only when you grow old. We have to start building the concept of, you know, while you are still very active, you should be able to take your family, go down to Mention Fall. You should enjoy the beauty of it. You should go down to the North Plains and go to Waza Parks and enjoy it. It's not only when you grow old. That's something that should be. It should be something that as you are growing, you conceive it and obviously discuss it with your family. Your children should be part of it. They should see it, because we are only developing these ideas on our own now, because we grew up in environments where we only grow up, work until we die. The retirement only comes when we die. Some people work and die. After life, we don't. There's another side of beauty of life that I think that is that which you get off the pitch, sit and see others play and you clap for them. There's a kind of pleasure. I think there's a kind of pleasure there too. Not only when you walk until your machine starts slowing down, you slow down until when your knees break and you die there. No, there's some pleasure too when you stand out and you see people you have groomed over time.
You die walking.
You die walking. You see, you see people that you have groomed and they are also delivering, maybe giving in more energy than you could do, and then wow.
Okay. Hello, dear panelists. I'm so delighted that the resource persons on board are all youths and God-fearing. That speaks the kind of future that awaits Cameroon and Africa. Shalom. Chang is writing from Kumba. Good evening, Mr. Leo. When will the president go on retirement? Oh, he is scared of it. Okay. Good evening to all retirement people. Find difficult because when they retire, they don't have much at the time to take care of the family. Example, like government workers, because at time they don't pay much at the time. Okay, they should start investing. Hello, Mr. Liu. Children should help their parents because maybe they invest in you for the betterment of the family. Endum Hope writing from Loom. Hello, Mr. Liu. Children should help their parents because maybe. No, I'm repeating this one. Hello, I wish to ask why some men wait till they are going on retirement before thinking to build their house. I'm Berta writing from Kribi. Hello, I wish to ask, okay, good evening, Mr. Liu. and Teks Global team from Mr. Mbong from Boya just want to say it's not how much you earn, but what you do with what you earn that matters to secure a decent retirement. How we must be auto-disciplined financially to rationalize our spendings, cut our coats according to our size. Okay, good evening to you all in the studio. I love this program. Fekem Janet is writing from Ndop. Good evening to all of you watching us from Goktunja division. Good evening to the panelists. Please, I'm Mola Mbonde from Limbe. I need an assistance. I have 300,000 francs. What business can I use this money in order to increase my profits in order to sustain my retirement? Can you just call the numbers on the screen? Good evening to the panelists. Good evening to you too. Emil, writing from Bamenda, says, good evening panelists. Retirement should be prepared via parents educating and support their children, for they will live to be a pillar to their parents in their old age. Okay, good evening Mr. Leo. Retirement preparation starts from the first day you gain a job. Elvis is writing from Tombell. Good evening to you all. It's Stella from Bamenda. Thank you for your educative programs. At least from this program I have learned how to plan on my retirement. Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Teke. There is something that we, all of us, fail to also prepare for. When we get to the age of retirement, the health is failing, and many of us are not investing or struggling to do medical insurance.
It all boils down to information. What we knew while we're actively working, and these are the informations that people need to put out there. You need to understand your health. You need to understand, as a matter of fact, before you even start thinking about health insurance, you have to start thinking about how healthy you want to live now, because the kind of things you consume now will tell how your health will be when you get old. Imagine you consuming all the beer, eating all the meat, taking all the junks you're taking right now. Because you're stronger, it's going to play at your old age. So even the little money you gather and save for retirement, you use it to take care of your health. So we have to start thinking first how to eat healthy, how to live a healthy life, before you start thinking, okay, let's get to health insurance. Now, unfortunately, we are in Africa, countries where the insurance companies are very terrible. Sometimes things can actually happen and like, okay, but this guy is insured, what's happening? And they take a longer time for them to actually attend to to actually perform their responsibility. So while you're planning for your health, for your retirement, and getting some health insurance and registering and all of that, you have to know that it is your responsibility. Take care of yourself. In case the insurance company fails you, you should be able to take care of your health. It all boils down to that. Whatever it is you're doing, when you're saving your 1% as a retirement benefit, 0.5% should be for your health. I have to take care of my health as an old person, except you want to die early. If not, it's going to affect you. So we can go out there, look for a credible insurance company, and then also get in for your health insurance. Nobody knows.
Okay, nobody knows. But why it is very, very important to start preparing for retirement very early is the fact that one never knows. You may be forced into retirement.
Yes, it's true.
Yes, you may be redundant in the company you work for, or maybe you are involved in an accident, and then you may not be able to do the things you used to do. So the more reason why we should start preparing for the retirement as soon as possible.
Yes, any person is always prepared for the unforeseen. It's never trouble when the unforeseen comes. So it's always better to just be prepared, so that whatever happens around you, you don't get so bothered. People get to have high blood pressure and other related diseases because of shock that just meets them at one point in time. But whenever you are prepared for things like that, then no matter what comes your way, you'll be able to stand. So it's possible, it's better for you to be prepared and you don't meet an obstacle like that, all right, then to just okay, away from that, you cannot just sit, first of all, in any business or any, even if you are, one time somebody said something to me and said that the CEO is a position in a business, meaning that you're a founder, you are the CEO. There's one time you can actually live as a CEO and remain as the founder. So imagine a case like that. I think in some white companies, some people sometimes, I used to hear they vote CEOs out of their positions when they are the founders. You are the founder of your company and they vote you out of your position. Then imagine a situation like that. What happens is we are so comfortable, you just sit in one position and just become you just create monopoly. Yes, in the you can never you just sit in a position and you feel like you will never be moved, you feel like nothing is going to happen. Even I think that's what even happened in government positions. People become so comfortable. Trust me, no position should be so comfortable for you, be it a government position, be it an employment position, or be it a position where you are the founder of that particular business. You should never be, don't just sit. Always prepare for the unforeseen. There are some companies that they get wind up along the line. Now if you get wind up, you who is the business owner, we're not praying that your business should get wind up, okay, but now along the line your business is no longer functioning. You as the person, always try to also stand yourself away from your business. So this is you own this business, but this is the business. It's like how they'll talk about separate legal entity. You are standing alone away from your business. So now the question is, if your business is not standing, are you as a person ready for retirement? So if you're saving for the business, save as an individual as well. So don't save for the business and forget about yourself, because trust me, there will come a time where the money will be used in the business and you as the individual will not have money. It happens like that you're running a company and you as a person, you're broke. But the company has money.
The company has to survive.
Yes, the company has to survive. When we had the free training at our SHEP Academy, Mr. Wango Boy said something. He said that imagine that Bill Gates is this wealthy and his company is still borrowing money from the bank to do business. So when he said so, it came to me, I was like, okay, it means it's not the company that has money, it's Bill Gates that has money. Meaning that Bill Gates has his money. The company has its money. When the company does not have money, they go and borrow. And life continues. So you as an individual, separate yourself and create money for yourself, because you don't know, save money for yourself. You don't know what will happen the next minute.
Okay.
Always be ready.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. There are three things you do with money: spend, give, and invest. If you do this in the right manner, you will have a decent retirement. Cyrus is writing from Bafusam. Hello, Mr. Liu. Now that we already have parents who unfortunately never got the opportunity to learn this, can we give them some hope as we plan not to be in that very situation? True. We should as well be prepared to take care of them, whether they are in need or not. Care here isn't only giving money. Many let down their lives to chase illiteracy out of us. When a goat is old, it sucks the kids. Very interesting topic. Ngip Maxell writing from Bonaberry. Greetings to the crew. Nice program, please, Mr. Liu. I wish to ask this team on board, are they the only entrepreneurs we have? You can also invite new faces so that we can also receive new ideologies. But I must appreciate Mr. Teke and his team. Ryan is writing from Bengui. Yes, Ryan, if you want to talk, call me. I'll give you the opportunity. But I think that is also the problem Africa has. Once they see something that is good, the next thing they want is change. And once the change comes and everything gets bad, it seems as if we are very comfortable. Yes, it's true. Yeah. Because when you watch the West, you watch CNN, you will see the Amampos, they are there for decades. Richard Quest, they are there for decades. They are producing, and things are moving. Yeah. If they were in Africa, people say no, they have been there for 10 years. Yeah, it's true. So I think if they are delivering the good, please, instead of sapping the energy, I think
the average African how to learn for too long.
Yes.
Yes. So as soon as you teach them one thing today, the next thing is they want to become the teachers. So that character.
Yeah, I think that is what is also killing Africa. Yeah. If they muster the courage to be here, why not appreciate them rather than say that we should go looking for other entrepreneurs? If you think that you can do it, please
just get Mr. Liu.
Call me. Yes. Good evening, Big Liu. I'm enjoying your female panelist. Please give her more time to talk. Okay. Finzi, if you are in Boyarnet tomorrow, let us also catch up. Yes. Hello, Mr. Liu. Can you ask the panelists to give us a real-life situation of their lives on how they are preparing for retirement? Because almost all of them are young. What do they do, and how are they doing to prepare for their retirement? Jane Kwele, writing from Douala. I'm sure Mr. Teke is going to answer you. Jane Kwele. Jerry, educate your children, save and invest 1/3 of your income in business. Don't lose too much energy on women or men, especially in the bedroom. Build up your spiritual life. Jerry is writing from Limbe, writing on decent retirement. Okay. Hello, honorable members of Media Prime. Good evening to everyone on board. If you are a taxi driver by occupation or an Okada man, how can you plan for your retirement plan? Also, how can you plan for a new business career from a taxi job? Optimist is writing from Bomenda. Good evening, my dear panelists. Nguetussi from Kumba says, let's look at what we are facing. How will a CDC worker or mission worker today follow Mr. Teke's methods? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Preparing for decent retirement is having a business that works successfully with you constantly around. To me, that's a confirmation that your retirement is decent. Fruche, writing from Bomenda. Daisy, writing from Kumasi. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to the Teks Global team. I'm learning a lot this evening. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I enjoy your programs. Kindly greet Teke for me. Tell him it's his classmate from Bonge. Kindly give him my number. Beer Shadrach, writing from Kumba. That's his number on the screen. Just call him after the program. You talk directly to him. Good evening, Mr. Liu and guests in the studio. Thanks for the pertinent topic under discussion. I think it's good for both private workers and civil servants to start preparing for retirement. Immediately they start working. Okay. Emmanuel Assange, writing from Baum in Bafut. Mr. Teke, lots of issues raised here.
Okay, yeah, so the person is looking for fiscal or this thing. While I was teaching, I've once thought, so while I was teaching, I was preparing for my retirement. I was saving 20% of my earnings. Then I was earning 72,000 naira. So I was saving part of that money. And after some time, I had not even thought that I was going to stop teaching. I was saving that money, and a point came in that way I had to start getting into business. I used that money to buy a cryptocurrency. I bought a digital coin. All the money I saved, I was keeping it as my retirement money. I used the money, bought a coin they call the Billion Coin, TBC. I was selling that coin. I bought one for 1,200. If anybody is in Nigeria, they can actually know about TBC. I bought that coin for 1,200 naira for one, and I bought a lot of them, and I still have a lot of them now. And a time came where they promoted the coin so much, and the coin became so much valuable. I sold one for 510,000. Something I bought for 1,200 naira. I sold less than 3 or 4 months later. I sold it for 510,000, and I think I sold about 50-something pieces of the Billion Coin, and that stuff gave me a lot of money that I used in putting into businesses and all of that. Now, if I wasn't saving that money, if I didn't prepare for my retirement, I had not thought of retiring then, but I was saving that money. If that money was not there, when the opportunity for that Bitcoin came, I would have missed it out. So that was how I started. Now, recently, I was working with the architect to develop a plan for my house where I'll be living, and I told him you're going to put a lift in the house, and we should have a bigger space where we'll have space for garden, like small farm. Because why am I doing that? And he was asking me why. I said because a time will come where I don't need to work. I'll be at home. I'll need to do some exercise. I can actually go to the farm, do some little work in the garden. That's planning for retirement. Why do I need the lift? I'll not need to be climbing staircase when I'm old. I just simply get into the lift and take me to my bedroom. It's all planning for retirement. So, like you said, it encompasses a whole lot of things, not just saving money. Your entire life, how are you going to live it when you are old? I paid for all of these things. I had I made a sketch for service quarters. So because when I get old, I'll definitely not have my kids around, and then I need people who will stay around that will have to pay them. They have their quarters where they will stay to come do the work at home, and it's all within the compound. So this is all planning for retirement. So if you're planning for retirement, you have to look at things like this. No matter how small the money is, always save a percentage. An opportunity will come when you need to make an investment, and that saving is going to help you to generate your retirement income. A taxi driver, a bike driver, there's no restriction for who will not save for retirement. As a bike Okada rider, you have a certain income you earn for yourself every day. Save a percentage of it. If every day you go home with 2,000 as your own money, decide to save 10% of 2,000. That will just be 200 francs. But keep saving it. If you save 200 francs every day, multiply that by 30 days, that's 6,000. Multiply that by 12 months. That's a lot of money. Put it by the number of years you are going to be riding your taxi, your bike. So there is no money that is small enough to be saved for retirement. Like someone once wrote, it's not how much you save, it is what you do with the income that comes into your hand. The end product is somebody must save something for their retirement. You have to pay for it, because God will always respond to you, or only respond to you depending on your level of preparation. The universe does not answer to anybody who does not prepare. So you have to prepare, and then God will look at you in heaven and say, okay, this my son, this my daughter is preparing for their retirement. Let's push opportunity towards them so they can invest their money and then grow their income.
Okay. I'll take some questions here, because many persons are really worried about what they want to get practical. Or can you also tell them how you're preparing for your retirement? Yeah, but they ask that you guys, can you convince them?
I'm praying for my retirement. I started thinking about my retirement when I was in Form 5.
Form 5?
Yes, when I was in Form 5. That was the first time the idea came. It was because I saw a practical case of my grandmom, and the way it was going, I was like, I was more of like, okay, personally, as a person now, I don't like so much stress, like physical stress. Imagine that I have to be old and I have to hold a stick, I have to do this. When I started thinking of that, I started thinking of retirement out of fear, actually. I was just afraid of what the future might look like.
So one day, I saw me to go there.
Yes, that was how it started. So, and I'll use this to talk to some people. When you see people like that, right, you don't laugh at people when they are old, the way they behave. Look at yourself. Now, this is how I started. I would like to just give this example. I looked at my grandmom. I was scared. My grandmom's sister, she didn't do so much of book work and all the like. So most of the times when we're in church, she would speak some English. We're like, the English has the way it does. So we'll laugh and laugh and laugh. And now it got to me that when we're retiring, it's not mind retirement. Meaning that you can retire from work but not retiring at the level of the mind. So I started looking at so many things. I started building myself. I'm like, okay. I started looking at the way I want to be when I'll be old. And sometimes, even up to now, I tell some people that I want to be a grandmom that will be speaking a lot of English. And when I say that, they will laugh. Now, because of this, I started planning. I started looking at activities I would like to do when I'm old. Activities I like to do when I've retired, and I started learning some of these things. I started putting it together. Up till now, as I'm talking like this, there's a lot I put in place. I might not want to say it openly. There's a lot I put in place preparing for my retirement. And sometimes I used to say like a joke. I said, I'm believing God at the age of 40, I should sit down and start working. And when I'll talk like 40, is 40 not too early? Is 40 not too early? I've had people ask me that, is 40 not too early? I said, I really think that it's possible for me to retire at the age of 40, meaning that I have my own businesses that are running for me, and I sit down and rest and concentrate on my family and all of that. So because of that, there's a lot of activities I'm putting in place. Although it's of recent that I started looking at working on health retirement. Yes, it's of recent that I started talking about, okay, how will my health look like when I'll be retired. I've looked at how, like what Mr. Teke was talking about housing. I started looking at how my house will look like, to the extent where I said one time that if by that time somebody opens a home for the aged, I said I will personally go and register myself before I get too old. So my children will not need to come around to start taking care of me and all the like. So I will go and register myself. That's the plan I already had. That I'll register myself at a particular age. I'll register myself. I said, okay, when I'm this age, you send your company to come now, and they're coming now to start taking care of me at that age. My children no longer have that responsibility. So it's all about planning. Like I said earlier, that it still boils down to the goals you have for your retirement age.
Okay.
How do you want to live?
Let me take a few more worries. Mr. Liu, Mr. Teke said something about universe and opportunities. Please, he should do a lesson on universe, spirituality and wealth. Thanks. I think that is the brain behind wealth. Through just writing from Pomenda, he will do that. It's useless talking about money in the presence of a billionaire. If you are not one, listening is the best help one can get. Fools who always criticize, but it's a proof the program is impactful. Thanks, Mr. Teke and team. God bless you. And Mr. Liu. Tiku Felix is writing there from Boya. Mr. Liu, thanks for your exceptional selection of guests this evening. Gladys is writing from Bafusa. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and the rest of you in the studio. I want to say I love your program on my media prime. It's Gaston writing from New Munyenge. Thank you, Gaston. Cameroonians should be informed of the fact that the National Social Insurance Fund is not for civil servants only. All Cameroonians, both of the public and private sector, farmers, buyers, sellers, etc., are called upon to register and contribute for their retirement. Okay, yes, that is an information that many persons, yes. Mr. Liu, say a special hi to Miss L. Okay, Miss her. I'm happy to see her on the program today. Okay, yes. This one says, I share the belief that education your children is a major investment by the parents. While it is agreed that parents should not place the burden on their children, I believe that we cannot entirely dismiss the responsibility of your children in taking care of their parents on retirement. I agree strongly that educating your children is sacrificing your pleasure for them and therefore an investment. Jacob Nyambe. Okay, Jacob, but it is your responsibility. They have a right to education, so you have to do it. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Good evening, Mr. Liu and panel. The topic today is very interesting. In our generation, you are struggling to grow, taking care of your children and siblings. We could not, in such circumstances, save anything. You send your child to America or Europe, etc. You say such parents should not expect help from such children. Peter is writing from Lima. Good evening to you in the studio, and thanks for the educative program. Keep it up. Derek Wala writing from Chang. But are we getting it twisted? Do some people really think, it seems as if some people think that to be able to save, you must be of a certain financial class. Yeah. People think that if you are a taxi man, you should not save. If you are is that not where the problem is? Yeah.
That's actually where the major problem is
because
coming from.
We have taxi men and Okada men who may be working 200, 300,000 francs at the end of the month.
Yes. Yeah.
But they think that it's a civil servant who is earning 80, 90,000
francs
who needs to
save.
Yeah. To save. Yeah.
Actually, I would like to link that to my own experience on what I'm doing for my retirement. So I started work, I used to earn 35,000 francs CFA, and then I have these complaints, but the day I was receiving my first salary, Mr. Gogomonzi, who was Chief of Service of Finance at the time when I was at KUNEH, he told me that it is not how much you earn, but what you do with what you earn that matters. That statement stick to me so seriously. I did not actually understand that wisdom, but I realized from that money I could save 10,000 francs. I'm left with 25,000 francs. Then all of a sudden my income grew. There was a time I was earning 70,000. I could not still, the more I was earning, the chances of saving more were reducing. So it started down on me that it means that the person who earns 500,000 has more problems than me.
Yeah, that's the irony in many persons.
You see,
I'm aware of.
So it's not a situation of what you can do. It's not the issue of how much you earn to be able to save, but what you do with what you have. So now this is a scenario which is how when I started thinking about what will happen, it means that this situation will continue like that. What should I do? That's the point. That's when I knew about Teks Global. I started giving a tour and started talking about their retirement plan. I said, but this company is talking about retirement plan. So what does it really mean? I went closer to the retirement plan. I realized that I must have at least 1.5 million francs CFA before I can join those who are preparing for their retirement. But I did not want the situation where I will retire at 50, 60. No, I want to retire earlier than that. I should be joining Miss L maybe 49.
I'm a woman though, if I stay.
So, in that case, what did I do? I sat down. I joined Njangi. Simple. That will oblige me to pay every month 50,000 francs. I had to take other things to add to it. Now I had 500,000 francs. With 500,000 francs, I have to register. I need another 75,000 francs. That is 575,000 before I can invest in Teks Global. I took the challenge. When I took the Njangi, I took the challenge. I looked for 75,000, added to it, and then put in Teks Global. That for me was my retirement plan. It's like, okay, this is it. This business is stable. After studying the business for over 4 years, I had to take a major decision that it was time to, I can actually bet my retirement on this company. So with that, what was I looking at? I said, okay, if I just have to compound this money, that I'm retiring in 10 years, I'll retire in 10 years with about 40 million.
A lot.
With about 40 million. Let me just take the scenario of 5 years. With that, I am sure that normally in 5 years' time, that's 16 million. 16 million, yeah, 500. Then looking at, I realized there are people who earn over 250,000, 300,000 in this country that they retire without 1 million francs saving in their bank accounts. So you look at it, you realize not how long you actually work, but it's what you do. And if you understand how to prepare, I'm talking about the financial aspect, because any other aspect would not make sense.
Okay.
If there is,
okay. Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program. I'm Nestor Wanta in Bamenda. Greetings to Erica Bonkwa in Moyo, Konan. We are watching you live. Thank you very much, all of you guys watching us from Bamenda. Mr. Liu, thanks for the educative program. I must say the lady in the studio is somebody I admire a lot, and for my author, Billionaire's Mindset, I thank you so much. What I am today in business world is due to that book, and being a secret admirer to the lady in the studio. I learned a lot from her. Once more, thanks, Mr. Liu. Desmond Truth, writing from A to the Yaoundé. Desmond, you have to appreciate me now for bringing her on the studio. So, okay. Good evening, Mr. Teke and everyone in the studio. Please, is money the only thing you can save or use in preparation for your retirement? Emmanuel, writing from Bamenda. We've said many things, spiritually also, you should prepare spiritually. Emotionally. The things you eat today determine the way you live. We are talking about a decent retirement. The Bible in Ecclesiastes says 11:1 and 2 says invest your money in foreign trade, and one of these days you will make a profit. Put your investments in several places, many places in fact, because you never know what kind of bad luck you are going to have in this world. That was explanation. He has really broken that. John Makia is writing from Kumba. Good evening to you, John Makia. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, how can I download Teks Money on iPhone? Writing from Neba. Can you just call the number? They will tell you how you can download it. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I want to appreciate you, Mr. Teke, and the fellow panelists for the interesting topic and for sharing the experience in life. Pastor John, writing from Konsamba. Now, in the case of forced retirement, that is your case with accident or something like that.
A machine can replace you even.
Yes. How do you cope? Because we are talking about planning for it, but how do you cope in such situations?
Emotional.
All right, Mr. Leo, before I answer your question, I want to get back to the point where people should not think that because we are sitting in this panel and talking, we are not living the same life they are living. We are facing the same obstacles that they are facing, but it's that we have taken upon ourselves to fight the obstacles and prepare for our retirement. And we thought it necessary to share with you. Don't take the things we say like we are rulers and we are living in another world. We are in the same society like you, and we are fighting the battles on daily basis, and we are encouraging you to fight along with us so that when you are aging, it shouldn't worry you. If all people are saying that, okay, their children should take care of them, I have a little problem with that. But if you're a young person out there and you're watching this program and you're insisting your children should take care of you, I'm having a problem with you, because it's as if there's a cycle that we have realized is not working, and we're trying to bring up ideas that this cycle should be stopped, and you are trying to prolong it. You are still young, and you have that probability, you have that energy, you have what it takes to change, to be able to be empowering your children. And at least if you have been following this program from when we started till today, you should have learned enough to be able to get to action, that you can actually take care of your family and prepare for yourself. If you keep insisting that, all right, parents should depend on their children, then I think you are not learning and you don't want to learn. That's what I should say before I go over to your question, Mr. Leo. You see, how do I put it? We have so many open doors, but we shut them. You know, Mr. Teke rightly said we need to prepare ourselves spiritually too, because all these things, before they manifest in the physical, we must accept that they occur in the spiritual first. You understand? There are people who would retire or by maybe because we know that machines are at a young age, and instead of them trying to fight back to regain their life, they stay back and lament and blame and complain and weigh on the other people in the family who are working. That's what we are trying to cut here, because this thing of black man task, as we call it, black man task, where the lone person that is working in the family, the whole family is depending on, is one of the things that is really weighing us down as Africans. You know, the firstborn becomes now the second father. You understand? That is something that has been going on for time immemorial, but there has come the time when we have to start breaking some of those things, okay, because they are weighing down on us. You have for you to be able to withstand any circumstance that can befall you in life, prepare yourself spiritually, be built from within, so that when circumstances occur to you, you can be able to handle it. You can still hold yourself and look at where you can switch to. That can, I mean, we've seen people who are amputated, and then they turn their hands to craft and then make things and become something really big in the society. Okay.
Wow, that's an insight, Mr. Teke. Many people suffer a retirement because they are penny wise but pound foolish, and failing to plan is planning to fail. I know of some state teachers who squander their money when they were young and not even using it to educate their kids. They are at retirement but don't have a heart of theirs. In order to have a decent retirement, you must invest the little you have. Hello, Mr. Leo. The highest thing I have learned today is from that lady. I have learned to save different from my business, which I never thought of it. That has really opened my mind. God bless her. Jack Shilgo, writing from Dubai. Good evening to you, Jack Shilgo. Many messages. Let me read some of them. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, can we take a rendezvous for this topic again? I wish all enterprises in Cameroon educate their workers on retirement, because lack of preparation kills more than the deadly malaria. Greet the lady in the studio. It's Elvis, writing from Tombel. We are going to do a part 2 of this program, and possibly with somebody with some retirement. Yeah. Hello, love the program. It is important to plan well, because some parents have the reap and sow policy. Okay, some will say I have to reap from where I sowed, so being angry if their children can't offer what they expect to reap. So young people should know that they are not too young. Prepare for retirement and always think positively, and following programs like this could also help. Bayo Elton, writing from Boya. Mr. Leo, please help me tell the government to introduce another key to success, because education is boring. Blink is writing from Bamenda. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I love your program so much. I was challenged recently by my dad to propose a retirement plan for him, and I was wondering how to advise him on that. But thanks to this program, I have been enlightened on how he should go about it. Shout out to the lady on the program, Munyu Jacob Jagzi, writing from Jakiri. Good evening to you. We pray that the people in Bui division actually sleep well this night. It's not been easy out there in Kumbu. We know. Please come to Ikondo Titi. Many things are going wrong. We have Pamol, which is a case study for your topic, which is not respected, and also the army is now the judiciary. They decide all in Ikondo and its environment. Please, we need your help. Nguetussi is my name. Okay. Daniel from Boya, may God, our beautiful Father, keep and preserve his wisdom upon Mr. Teke. He is an icon in our time. You are really the light to the youth. I'm very grateful for the grace of God upon you. This one says, name, Prime TV. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, what is the right age for a young man to get married? Follow us on Tuesday, please. This one says, I'm still having a little doubt here again. I wonder if it is all jobs that require retirement. Isn't freedom? Writing from Neba. Yes, you can retire from selling groundnut oil. You can retire from selling bush meat. You can retire from, because definitely you are going to go old. Good evening, panelists. Thank you guys for such a wonderful educative topic which helps to educate, inform and transform the mindset in our nation to prepare for retirement. Keba Mo is writing from Limbe. Yes, they will still keep writing, but Mr. Teke, we are talking about those who failed to prepare. They are on retirement. Yes. Is it too late?
There's nothing that's too late. There's a way I always put this. Let's say you are at wrong point. You're supposed to be going to Boya, and then you bought a car, and the car starts going towards Yaoundé. You get somewhere along the road, and realize that this is not the way to Boya. What you are supposed to do is not to sit there and start complaining. It's for you to take a U-turn. Just turn immediately without thinking twice, back to wrong point, so you can now start heading to Boya. Now, if you were not informed before now, and you are at this point where you fail to prepare for your retirement, first question to you is, do you have a means of income? Is there something that comes into you every month or every day or every week? If yes, can you split that money and keep a certain percentage to make an investment for yourself? Can you be able to reduce what your family or your children are giving you to support you for the month, and keep part of it that I'm going to save this money so that in the next 1 or 2 years I can reduce the burden from my children and start making my own money? It is never too late. You can also do it, except you get a point where there's no means of income at all, which of course I don't know how possible that can be, but of course even if it is, you have to now, if you're listening to this, you have to start talking to your children and your grandchildren around you that please don't be like me, prepare for your retirement. Of course.
Yes. Is it too late, Miss L?
It's not too late. You can actually be able to still stand up and fix some things around you. It's very possible. I think all what they need now is to be exposed to information like this, like what we're putting on the table. If they can get this information, then from there they can be able to know the next step to take. There's always a next step, actually, because retirement is not the end of the road. It's actually just a turn. It's like you're just changing the direction. So it's possible for them to actually still sit up and be able to fix up 1 or 2 around them. It's more about determination, because some will just say, I'm not comfortable. The fact that you're complaining does not mean that you're determined to change. That's different. You can complain and still be okay to stay, but once they are complaining and saying that, oh, I want to be able to move away from this position, I want to be able to better my retirement age now that I'm retired, don't just complain, say it, and then start putting in activities that is going to be able to bring this your thoughts or this your words to reality. And there's a lot you can do. Thank God that our contacts are there. You can get to us, and I'm sure that we'll be able to propose something or the way forward.
Good evening, Mr. Lou. I love the program so much. Thanks for educating the young generation, because our parents did not plan for their retirement, and so we are the ones to suffer to take care of them. This is my best program. Miss Lima writing from from Yaoundé. Hello, please, what can I do with 120,000 francs in Boya? I love farming. I'm in Douala. Okay, can you just call the numbers on your screen and we are going to help you out, please. Greetings to you all in the studio. What a great program going on. Takut writing from Douala. What about the farmers? Jonathan writing from Yaoundé. Good evening to you all. Farmers can also prepare for. You will not work forever now. Yes, you will not do the farming forever. Children should also help their parents to invest, cause some just want to lavish their parents' money. Endum, okay. Children should also help their parents. Okay. Good evening to my people over there. How can we control our meals while preparing for our old age? I'm Mukong Rafela from Bamenda, presently in Bafia. Good evening to you. Mr. Liu, with all due respect, how can you have kids talking about decent retirement? Please get retired workers who are living a decent life on this program. Ray Calais, yes, Ray Calais, if you have one, just recommend them. We are going to receive them. We have said already that we are going to have but B. Thank you, Mr. Teke, for your teachings. Money is never too small to save. I'm 32, have never saved money. Before receiving my salary, I already programmed using it. It's always getting short because it's small, but just now I'm already visualizing saving, even though my salary is very small. Okay. Yes, I think that is also the essence of this program. It's unfortunate that many were not opportune to listen to such messages. What now can the retired people do to maintain themselves since they are already retired? Good program. There, BBK writing from Kribi. I'm sure we answered that already. We have to be calling it quits out here. I'll use this opportunity to say thank you to you all who are always watching us, who are supporting us, to say that this week again, my Media Prime got an award. This week, the Scoop Media group gave my Media Prime this award, and then the program Prime R, this one, got another award this week, still from the Scoop Media Group. We want to say we are very, very proud of you guys, because we are growing, we are succeeding because you believe in what we are doing. You are supporting us, especially by the way you interact and send us messages. We want to say, we pray you continue to support us, and that our partnership with Teks Global will continue, so that we can change Cameroon. Seemingly, it's not the politicians that are going to change Cameroon, but people like Mr. Teke, Mr. Buji, Mr. Neba. We want to say thank you for coming, Mr. Teke.
All right, thank you so much, and we pray whatever we are doing, we get it, and then we practice it. Like I always say, if you spend everything you are earning, it will be difficult for you to live a financially free life. Talk more of retirement. Okay. So let's see how we can save as little as you can. It will definitely amount to something as years count by.
Okay, we also want to say thank you to you, Miss L.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leo. And my advice to everybody is that let's get excited about retirement and not afraid. Let's just prepare for it and look forward to it, sitting and resting. Yeah. Okay,
we want to thank you too, Mr. Buji, for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo. Thank you for having me. And I want to say this quick one. I always end by giving people the next opportunity. So if you're in Bamenda, know that it's time for Teks Global to come to you. In Bamenda, we are officially opening on the 16th of May at Ayaba Hotel. Our office is ready. We are ready to save you. Okay. At 2 p.m. That's the time. Okay. So you can get to us for more details.
Okay. We are also saying thank you to you, Mr. Neba.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leo, and thank you to our televiewers who have contributed so much for this day. I want to pass a special message to those who are retired and thinking that they don't have anything to do again to better their lives. We are living in the social media age. If you are retired, it means that you must have accumulated a lot of experience. Just gather what you have learned, get a young person who understands the social media space, start dishing it out and create a platform. You'll be surprised how much or how many young people will be willing to learn what you have out there, and you create already an influence in you, and through that you can make so much money.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, text to us at Text Over, and we'll show you how to do that.
Okay, we want to thank you to who have taken time to watch this program this evening, and to you, Desmond and Eli, producing the program, Bertrand and Noel, not forgetting you, Tabi Tambe Bryant, who is supervising the work we are doing out here. If you are around Boya, take the rendezvous tomorrow at the University of Boya, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. They are celebrating the World Press Freedom Day tomorrow. So join us in that celebration. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.